Are we live?
Yeah.
Okay, this is our first keto cooking video. It's Marilyn and the Preacher. So we're gonna do a tuna patty tonight. That's gonna be have a good amount of protein, some fat, and it's gonna be a lot like your mama's salmon patty without all the carbohydrates. So we'll let Marilyn go over the rest of the ingredients. Go ahead, Marilyn.
Right here we've got some blanched almond flour. We're going to use that. We're going to use a cup of that. And to add a lot of texture, we're going to do some flaxseed meal. This is really good. What are the health benefits of some flaxseed meal?
Well, the flaxseed meal has as much fiber as it has carbohydrates, so it zeroes out. With the keto diet, what you're looking for is you want to have about 75% of your calories coming from fat. In other words, you're going to want about 180 to 200 grams of fat a day. You're going to want about 75 to 80 grams of protein, and then you're going to want to keep in that 20 to 30 net carbs. So when you have a net carb, what a net carb is it's what you do is you take the total carbohydrates and you minus out the fiber, and that's how you get your net carbs. So this stuff right here doesn't count against you at all. You get rid of counting calories. You don't count calories. What you're counting is macros, the three things: the carbohydrates, the net carbohydrates, the fat, and the protein. And unlike a traditional bodybuilder diet that I was on previously, I was doing real high protein, real low fat, and low carbohydrates. I always felt bad. Well, on this diet, you know, my blood pressure medicine's gone. I feel a lot better. I'm a lot more alert. Can't wait. I go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, and literally at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm waiting on the alarm to go off so I can get to the gym. I'm just feeling a whole lot better, a whole lot better. And I know some of that's just the blood pressure medicine, being off that stuff, but you know, that's some of the big benefits. And with the almond flour, it also, it has about a quarter of a cup, has about 6 carbohydrates with 4 grams of fiber. So it works out real good. And of course, everybody knows the benefits of tuna.
Yes, the tuna's good, and it's, you just drain it. You want to drain it real good. You don't want it to be real wet. And then we've got salt and pepper and some Creole seasoning to add to it. So let's get started. We'll do the tuna first.
You need some eggs, right?
Yes.
I need eggs. How many eggs are we going to put in there?
We're going to put 3 eggs in. Eggs is good protein. We're done for our almond flour, our flaxseed meal. And this, you don't have to add it. If you don't have it, it can be made just like it is with the almond flour. This is to add a little texture, a little bit of nuttiness, and just the nutrients that it provides. And it's just kind of a filler too. Add some seasoning. Just eyeball it however you want it. We like ours a little bit spicy.
The other thing you want is you want a lot of salt, because with the way the keto diet works, it just pulls the salt out of your body, and you want to replace that. And you could add like Parmesan cheese to this. You could add some cheddar cheese. There's a lot of other things you could expand on the recipe too, to add additional flavors. You don't like cheese with fish? Really?
It's disgusting.
I like cheese on everything.
Parmesan cheese maybe on some tilapia crusted or something, but you do what you want to do.
She probably knows what she's talking about.
No judgment, but yeah, I wouldn't put cheddar cheese in my tuna patty because it's
really
kind of gross. You know.
You think?
Yeah, please don't do that.
I'm going to put that in the garbage.
I won't let you do that.
I'm just going to put this in the garbage.
Thank you. Put that too.
Whatever Marilyn says, we figured that out about a year ago.
When we got married.
Yeah, Marilyn's the boss.
Not really, but we're kind of partnership. But seriously, no, don't put cheese in it.
No cheese.
No cheese.
No cheddar cheese. Maybe Parmesan. I'll tell you what I did today is I took a third of a cup of peanut butter, powdered peanut butter, an egg, a little baking soda, baking powder, and some canola oil. And I made the fluffiest little peanut butter cake. It was incredible.
That's the next video.
That'll be the next video. Because you got to have your sweets, right? Ain't not the biggest problem with diets or something is you
feel deprived.
You feel deprived. You know, the cool thing about this is what happens with your body is as you're taking in these simple carbohydrates, you get these insulin spikes. And people don't understand how addictive you get to the insulin spikes. Everybody all heard of the comment sugar high. Well, you know, they've done studies where they say that Oreos are as addictive. Yeah, chocolate wasted. Where Oreos, they say, are as addictive as heroin. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. But I don't know about you, but I've never been able to eat one Oreo, especially with a glass of cold milk. You know, so we all got that sweet tooth, and there's a lot of recipes you can do that'll just satisfy that sweet tooth. But without the insulin spike, what you find is you're not as hungry as you used to be. You're not as hungry. The cool thing about the keto diet. Not hungry. The cool thing about the keto diet is this is how Adam and Eve would have ate, or the prehistoric people. Because what would happen is you believe in fasting every day. So like I'll eat this right here tonight, and then I won't eat again till around 12 or 1 o'clock tomorrow. Now I'll have a little pre-workout in the morning and have some almond milk with some peanut butter in it, and as a pre-workout shake. But as far as a meal, you just eat about inside of a 6 to 8 hour window, and it gives your body time to sort of reboot itself. So it works out really, really good.
Okay, I need you to light the stove. It's not working.
Well, we got the gas going on. Oh, Lord.
Well, it wouldn't start, so I was hoping it would start. There we go.
We almost had it.
Sorry. It's okay. Ooh, get back off. Okay.
I'm choking the camera, woman.
This is my recorded last will and testament.
Let's hope not. Just gonna get us some just vegetable oil, canola oil, coconut oil. We could use that too. Just gonna put some in there, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan.
A couple of the people that we like on YouTube is Thomas Delore. He's really awesome. And then Headbanger's Kitchen. That guy's really cool. A lot of fun to watch, and we watch those videos a lot and help develop some of these recipes. Now, we haven't seen anybody do this. The one issue here is it doesn't probably have enough fat, but man, I used to remember my mama's salmon patties when I was a kid, and I just loved them. They were incredible.
And the traditional ones are made out of usually like crumbled up crackers, saltine crackers, which of course have the white flour in them. That's no good. And some people actually dust theirs with a little bit of flour also, which is not what we want, you know, with the keto way. So you just, and it holds together really nicely with the almond flour and the flax meal. It's really nice.
The other thing you can't do is you can't be successful with this without keeping up with what you eat. You just have to log what you eat, because you'd be surprised when you do start logging. You'll be surprised at how quick you get too much protein. Because what'll happen is the protein, there's something that happens in your liver called glucogenesis. And what that is where protein is converted to glucose, and it's glucose that kicks you out of ketosis. So your body's going to burn one of two fuel sources, carbohydrates or ketones. You want it burning ketones. That's the way God designed us. He designed us to live off ketones, not simple carbohydrates. I mean, type 2 diabetes, the heart disease, all these things are problems that have just popped up in the last 100 years when man started over-processing food. I mean, and we all know that man has had a real long history of really jacking stuff up.
Okay. I think these would be about 4 even sized. These are good sized portions, serving sizes. A little bit more of that one. It looks a little thin. We're going to fatten it up.
So that was 12 ounces of tuna,
1 cup of almond meal. Almond flour, right?
Almond flour. And then a half a cup of flaxseed meal.
Flaxseed meal, yes.
So there's where you get all your macros. And of course the oil, which will give you your healthy fats. So there's a couple variations of this. The Atkins diet emphasizes on real high protein. Well, real high protein does a number on your kidneys. That's the reason you don't want to do that. Then you got the Sugar Busters plan, which is sort of a maintenance plan where you just avoid 5 foods. You avoid flour, corn, sugar, potatoes, and white rice. And that would be something that you do. You don't want to stay in ketosis. You want to come out about once a week and have you some sweet potatoes and some fruit and stuff like that, and then go back in is the best way to do it. But you just always want to avoid those 5 things, the 5 bad foods: flour, corn, sugar, rice, and potatoes. I've always heard that corn and potatoes are for livestock. And if you want to look like livestock, just eat plain old corn and potatoes.
Alright, we're going to let these cook for about 6 minutes on this side, so we'll be right back when it's time to turn them over. Be right back. Marilyn in the picture.